Welcome. You're listening to a Rolemaster Classic actual play using Fantasy Grounds. The group has been playing together for nearly a year in Terry K Amthor's excellent Shadow World. You can find session summaries, items and characters on Obsidian Portal, where our campaign is called The Praise of Old Men. Last episode, the party met some stranded pirates who live in a stockade around a strange Obsidian Monolith. Sylke managed to get herself inside it, and in this episode intends to return with help from Cherry.
Alright, so while we're waiting, just a quick recap. So you've sailed by airship to the island of Arranmore. Your ship, the Lythander, is captained by Captain Oleandus. You've basically arranged for him to return the following morning, is that right? After you've investigated this stockade, which you've discovered is houses 7 stranded buccaneers, pirates, swashbucklers, led by this hulking brute called Aroth. Sylke, ever one to stick her nose where it's not needed, had waited for the compound to go quiet and managed to sneak into the strange black stone obsidian tower that the stockade has been built around. She gambled, as is her wont, and long-doored into the centre of this pyramid, which you suspected had a door and therefore a secret, and she and you were correct. And she found a ground floor which is being used with a simple cot bed, and more interestingly perhaps, a ladder that leads up. From the inside, the single exit is quite obvious and quite easy to spot. With the entrance discovered and confirmation that the tower is in fact an actual habitable dwelling of some description, and something that the buccaneers have been keeping secret, she has rejoined you in your less than luxurious accommodation. 3, 6, yep, that's all of you on the map. So it's late evening. The noise of the jungle is beginning to intensify. During the heat of the day, the jungle, swamps, and open wetlands are actually quite quiet, certainly compared to the night, where there are strange howls, rustlings, and deep guttural roarings off in the distance. Within the stockade, the noises are slightly muted, but even so, it's quite difficult to get a decent night's sleep. It's close, clammy, and somewhat uncomfortable. Some of you are unused to this sort of heat, and the noises are indeed very, very strange and peculiar. There's no draft and there's no wind to even ease your discomfort. Okay. An abbreviated version. Pirates, stockade, landed, ship returning in a couple of days, Sylke long-doored into the pyramid at the centre, and you've discovered that it's probably multi-layered. The evening's unpleasant, hot, sweaty, etc., and you're now inside the building that's been left over to you. 2 guards on duty. They've shut the gate as the jungle noises begin to fill the evening. There you go.
So I seem to remember, ladies and gents, that we were going to basically offer to help with some guard duty overnight. So if I get a bit of shut-eye now, I'm happy to do like the graveyard shift at like midnight till 3 if you want.
Who's going to volunteer to go?
Numa will volunteer.
Okay.
For the first watch.
Okay, does anybody want to join the pirates now, or do you just want to wait for about 2-3 hours and then just take over?
Weren't we going to make sure that we always had someone basically keeping an eye on the pirates as well as the...
Yeah, so does somebody want to go out now and keep an eye on them?
I'll go out and sit by the fire. Actually, what I'll try and do is hide in the shadows because fire starts to go down.
The fire is quite dim. The embers are now quite low. With the gate shut, rather than burning up firewood, they tend to let the fire embers just die down. So there's quite a lot of deep dark shadow out in the stockade itself, so it won't be difficult to hide in the stockade out of sight of the watchmen. Now the watchmen have lit torches and patrol the walkways.
Yeah, so I'll watch them, but I'll also try and watch the door that I know that the other pirates are gone to bed in.
Yep.
Just to make sure that everything's above board. I'm sort of like going to stand here in the shadows.
Yeah, you can lean against or sit down and lean against the shed, so you can see that the two men who you vaguely remember were introduced as Ern and Yahod are patrolling. Give me a stealth roll, please, Cherry.
Yeah, sure.
These guys are looking out rather than in. As you settle down, the door shuts a little bit louder than you thought. Ern turns round, looks in your direction. You can see through the starlight he grins at you, but continues his patrol. Cherry, you'll recall that these are sailors that have been stranded on their own with no female companionship for quite some time.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to have my dagger handy, I guess.
Okay.
Actually, I'll have my blackjack handy so I can just knock them out.
Well, the sailors stay on the stockade and actually leave you alone, Cherry, for most of the evening. They pause from time to time as pairs and exchange whispered conversation that you can't really make out. The jungle noises don't get any louder, but they remain loud enough to be perfectly audible and somewhat disturbing, certainly unfamiliar. Roars, rumbles, grunts, and so on, and even some high-pitched shrieks. Perhaps a little bit more worrying from time to time, you can hear the tremendous crash as one of the larger limbed trees is either knocked or something falls out of the tree. The sailors, you notice, are obviously used to this and continue their evening routine. After what feels like a very long time, another man comes out. You vaguely remember him as being called Avarok. And he joins Ern. Yahod continues to patrol. And just as you're beginning to feel slightly tired, Ern goes back in. Obviously, Yahod is remaining on duty for a little longer. Avarok, though, takes over. It's probably about just past the witching hour, so I would say in our time about 2 to 3 o'clock. Anybody want to take over from Cherry?
I think Jan was going to.
Yep.
Jan, do you want to? The fire is still actually giving off some heat, not that it's needed, of course. In fact, if anything, it's probably quite pleasant to sit near the great stone building just behind you, which is actually throwing off some coolness in this sticky, rather unpleasant evening. Give me a perception roll, please. You can see that Yahod is actually has got an armful of what look like some leafy twigs and sticks, and is actually piling them on the glowing embers, and the embers are now beginning to throw off quite a lot of smoke. Yahod
I ask him what is that you're putting on the fire?
Keeps the insects away, otherwise they bite. Disease.
And what kind of plant, or where do you pick those leaves from and those twigs?
He looks at you and grins, showing tombstone-like teeth with gaps in between them that you could probably fit an oar through, and says, that's for me to know, innit? And he taps his nose and says, stay on this island long enough, you learn all sorts of stuff that will keep you alive. And he shrugs and goes back. As he leaves, another sailor comes out to take over, a man called Kellock, you vaguely remember.
So Numal just engages in small talk, or tries to engage in small talk with Kellock, and says, where do you hail from originally, sailor, and what was the name of your ship?
Kellock points across into the dark and says, what's left of the ship is over there. I thought you'd noticed it. The ship's wheel. Yeah, we were part of the Scourge. Captain was a fair man. We took our fare of plunder, but well, he got it into his head to come to this godforsaken place, and we got hit by a squall, driven off course, smashed into rocks. Been stuck here ever since. but we're all from Fulcrumia, you know. And he points vaguely southwards out through the gates. You know, Fulcrumia. Heard of it?
Yes, I've heard of it. But what made you come here to this place?
Captain ordered us. He reckoned there was treasure. So we spent, those of us that survived, we tried to get into the city. Bloody hard that was because of the gate. Bloody great big demon thing it is. Killed most of us before we got the password.
And which passwords did you try?
He looks at you. Can you give me a perception roll, please? It's quite dark, but like most of your kind, you've got good eyesight. So I won't ask you to modify this. Okay. You can see he's looking a little bit uncomfortable. He's obviously realised that he said more than he should have done. And as he pauses, Avarok comes round to the end and says, "Oi, you're up here. Stop talking to our guests." "Sorry, mate," says Kellic.
Numal just shrugs, just trying to be friendly.
Okay. You notice that Avarok stands and spends as much time looking at you, Numal, as he does out into the jungle. Kellic resumes his position and paces the upper walkway around the palisade. The fire's continuing to throw out quite dense smoke, and though you can hear the whine of insects, it's immediately obvious that this quite sweet-smelling smoke that is coming from whatever these leaves are is actually keeping most of these horrible biting things away from the two shacks that the two crews are sheltered in.
And is there can Numal, if Numal approaches the fire, is there any can he see any of the leaves or the twigs that might not have started burning yet?
Yeah,
is it even possible for him to grab some?
Yes, you can reach in and grab them.
That's what he does.
All right, so you can reach in.
Being careful, of course, not to burn himself.
They're not that hot. They're really just smouldering. Some of them catch light as you disturb them and allow a little bit more air to get at the flames. Some of them catch a little bit more, but because the embers are dying, the air is quite still. They're producing quite a bit of smoke, but it's not foul. It's not unpleasant. It's quite sweet smelling. As you grab some of the leaves, you notice that actually the leaves are quite succulent, and the heat is causing these leaves to crack open and release what looks like a fine, milky white oil. And it's obviously this milky white oil inside these succulents that is acting as quite a potent insect repellent.
Numal decides just to go back and sit a little way from the fire by the obelisk and just keep watch and sit out his watch.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I should say sorry. That he takes close note of the shape of the leaves and the plant and
okay.
You know, in wanting to be on the lookout the next day if we venture out.
Okay.
To see if you can see the plant.
Yeah, sure. Have you got nature law or anything like that? Flora law or nature law or anything like that?
I don't believe so. No, I'm a sea right. Being. Okay. So no.
The evening now is beginning to draw towards its end, and the last two guards eventually take over from the two that are out there. So Avarok goes back inside and is replaced by Porgano. He's something of an archer. And Kellic, the most talkative of the sailors that you've encountered, he also returns inside. And a man named Pesserel takes over as well. Numal, you're due to be replaced, and I think it's Cran who now takes over.
I think it's Numal will go and give Cran a nudge.
Oh, a very brave man.
You're up.
Fuck, is it that time already? He sits up and scratches his testicles and then stands up in the middle of the room.
Pure class, Cran, but we've always said that.
Right, where's my wallet and watch?
Yes, I think those of you that are awake can certainly. So Cran and Numal doesn't recognise the plant. Again, Cran, if you've got nature or flora law, I'd be surprised. But if you have got those for any reason, probably to help you recognise Rook if you can find it, You can give me a roll and see if you recognise the smell of whatever's been piled onto this place.
I do not. I no idea. I have, especially not floral oil. I don't have a lot of that.
No, I'm relieved about that. The world would have been a strange place if Cran knew about plants and flowers.
Soon he'll be able to search for them himself when he does.
Right. A frightening thought that is. Why have you brought the Lythander here? Well, our captain said there was Rook here, and we don't really have much choice. Okay, so Cran, you can take your position by the fire or anywhere else you want. The guards, again, like their companions, spend part of the evening lurking near the gate just in case, but for most of the evening, actually, they move around the upper walkway. You can join them, or you can wait by the shade and the cool stone of the obelisk.
So I'll have my armor. I won't have my helmet on, and I'll just grumble about it being hot. I'll just walk around with a water skin, sipping at it. But I'll stay on the walkway and.
You'll stay on the walkway as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Neither Porgano or Pesserol make too much effort to be friendly to you in terms of light conversation, though they're clearly curious about you. It's Pesserol who finally kind of pauses near you by the walkway and asks you about the ship, the vessel you came in. Is it one of them airships?
Yeah, it's a pretty nice one. The higher up's got us going over here, but I've definitely got some money.
So what brought you to this godforsaken place? I mean, most people are trying to get off this place. You've actually come here. Were you like us looking for treasure?
Just like you, probably orders.
What, treasure orders or something else? Because we ain't found bugger all in terms of treasure.
Oh, that middle-aged fat bloke could have me tongue if I told you. So I can't. Oh, sorry, I can't let you.
Well, and Pesserol edges closer. Look, there's one sailor to another. I'm quite happy to tell you what I know if you tell me what you know.
Don't push it, son, and I ain't a sailor, I'm a soldier.
All right. There's no need to take it like that. I was just trying to be friendly.
Oh. Me too. Don't mind being friendly, and I'll take the old battered hip flask out, which is quite low on brandy right now, and offer him a swig.
Well, I won't say no. I was just, being friendly like, and he takes a tip. Good stuff. I haven't had anything really stronger than water for weeks now. But no, I was just being friendly. You tell me what brought you here, and I might be able to help you. I'm not like the others.
Well, we're gonna look for any signs of the old civilizations on the place. Do you know? Have you guys explored the island at all?
Well, no, not much. And he looks around and checks, and he whispers, and he sort of gestures, "Look, come, because Porgano, he's a bit touchy, like, look, why don't we just come out of earshot? Because otherwise it will get back to the captain, and he'll tell me off. He'll bollock me." Well, look, he says, so we went. Those of us that survived, Captain was absolutely mad for treasure. He reckoned the old city, he said, was crawling with treasure and weapons and artifacts and jewels and gems. And well, after we got past the gate, and that took care of a few of us, well, we explored what we could of the city, but all we found were screaming demons, undead, statues that moved, horrible plant-like things, and well, that was it really. So Captain said, "Look, let's come back and maybe get some more men." And that's when we discovered that old bastard Sneak had taken our rowboat, so we're stranded. Little bastard took our boat. He did. I mean,
I'll hand the hip flask back to him and shake my head. God, I hate being double-crossed.
Well, I mean, we knew it was a problem. A little sneaky bugger. I mean, he's not human anyway. But we kind of thought that since we'd been nice to him, we could cut his bloody throat. But anyway, we've been nice to him, and he just legged it with our boat, and here we are, stuck.
And it was that sneaky bastard. He wasn't one of your crew, was he? Or was he on the island already?
Well, and you can see the sailor Pesserol scratch his head a bit. Says, "Well, yeah, I mean, he was kind of like a cabin boy, I suppose you'd call him." Aroth found him, and Aroth thought it was quite funny, really, to take this sort of half human wretch, sort of dark type thing, as a cabin boy. I suppose he was quite civilized, really, for a half breed. I mean, he ate food like everybody else, and well, as they say, he wiped his bum with his hands. So, he was all right for a while. But it was just something about it was just a bit sneaky. Sneaky he was. So, Captain says we're off. We're sailing to the island, my boys. Treasure, booty. You know what captains do. And when we arrived here, what was left of the ship, well, we hauled into this stockade. Thank God we found that. We left that bastard cabin boy with our boat, and when we came back, he'd gone. Bloody gone. He no idea where he is. But of course, no boat, stranded.
Well,
And
he can't have gone far, can he? If he didn't have a boat, unless he was working in cahoots with someone else.
I don't know. I mean, the rowboat that we had was big enough for 4 men. He piled in a load of supplies, and that was it. Our guess is he didn't fancy his chances on the island, put it into the waters, and off he went.
And what was his name? In case we ever come across him.
Well, we just called him half breed.
Pleasant.
Well, he was bloody half breed. He was. He wasn't quite human, was he? Sneaky bastard. I hope he's drowned. Of course, I'd rather he'd left the boat.
Cran's nostrils flare a little bit at the overt bigotry being displayed by our sailors' chum. Well, we need to get back on watch. Anything that's going to keep me awake is walking around here. So
Yeah, sure. So I assume you've come to the city as well to find stuff, have you?
Following orders, that's right.
All right. Well, good luck to you, I say. You'll need that ship of yours, though. And he pauses. He says, "Is there any chance you need extra crew? Quite happy to work our passage."
Understood. That's not my call.
Who should we be talking to then?
Captain of the ship, and he won't let you on. So I can make a case for you when we go back.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, what do you need from us?
Nothing. I'm clear. There's 7 of you, isn't there?
Yeah, there's 7 of them.
I can ask. There's space there. It's just whether they're, these bastards, these rich folk. They sometimes just don't like, getting mud on.
Look, I'll work.
Nice stuff.
Work. Quite happy to work. I'm a good sailor. I've never been on an airship, of course. Sylke, right? Is that right? Sylke?
That's right.
Yeah, Sylke. Never been there. Fancy it, I do. Love to have a go at sailing one of them airships. Well, look, Pesrel, right? You remember my name? Pesrel. I'm a hard worker. You ask any of the lads.
Pessery? Okay, mate. Well, thank you.
Pesrel.
Oh, Pesserel. Sorry. Thank you for your information. Well, I'll put in a word for you. You're a nice chap.
Ah, great. Good lad. Right. Duty. And he wanders off with a little bit of a swagger to his step.
I'll shake my head. One born every minute as I walk up. I'll carry on my duties.
Okay, the rest of the evening, Cran, is fairly quiet. Like the others, you hear perhaps ominous crashing noises as if some heavy beast is moving around in the forest, or heavy things are falling out of the trees. There are the probably expected roars and high-pitched noises of birds and predators, but there's also some other noises which you can't quite place. Could be predators, could be prey, but they're definitely unfamiliar. As you move away from the fire, the whine and hum of insects gets a little bit louder. But actually the stench of the smoke is such that the stockades is mercifully clear of biting, nasty insects.
I'll leave a mental note to make sure I ask them what this thing is, and then we'll need to gather some if we start travelling.
Okay.
All right.
So, as dawn breaks over the jungle, the noises begin to ease and quieten down, and more of the sailors begin to come out of where they've been sheltering and begin to prepare water, prepare cook fires, and so on. So they start emerging from their camp and their rather grimy quarters, Can you give me a perception roll, please, Cran?
Do you want it in the tower?
No, I don't think so. You can sort of do that as you come out.
Oh, sorry. Take the
Doesn't
first one.
matter. First one was the better one. A number of them cast glances towards the tower and glances towards you as if they would quite like to be moving into the tower, but no, there's no resistance roll, Craig. I'm not that evil. So there's no. What was I going to say? Yes, there clearly some of the sailors would rather be inside that tower of theirs rather than out here. But they don't want to make any obvious signs that that thing is anything other than a curious, solid piece of stone work. They obviously want to keep it secret from you. Little do they know that Sylke has uncovered their secret.
I will not give the game away. I'll just carry on as if I'm kind of disinterested in what they're doing.
Okay.
Has Sylke shared that with everybody else now?
Yeah, that was last night where I wanted to share before bed type.
I don't think Sylke is very good at keeping secrets, let's be honest.
Exactly. It was just, I wanted to keep quiet about it too, so I don't know if I was quiet or not.
Yes, I think it's, I've got a secret.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think thanks to Sylke, that there is a way into the tower, and as you suspected, if you remember, some of you had reckoned that there was a path, a slightly more well-trodden, compact piece of sand that led to the door into the tower, and you found that. As the morning begins to get lighter and lighter, and the sun is beginning to climb out of wherever it's been sleeping, it yet again is going to be a very, very hot day and a very sticky day. You've now got to decide what to do. Do you want to head towards the city, which you know is basically one of the biggest and most obvious landmarks on the island, or do you want to do something else?
So Numal updates the group in the hut as to the strange conversation he had with the one guard about a gate and a password and a demon. So the others are forewarned about that particular obstacle. And then, for what it's worth, Numal says that he's keen to push on to the city. We know how to get into the obelisk or the pyramid structure if we need to. Maybe it's a good place to retreat to if we're in a bad position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you suspect the sailors have been using it for.
I'm gonna go up on the ramparts there, the outer edge, and just do a walkabout and kind of eyeball the range between the outside of the wall, almost walking right up to it, and then if I were to long door again into the obelisk at some.
Okay, so to get some sort of bearings of where you'd have to land and so on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay. Give me a reasoning roll. See how good your trigonometry and maths is.
Okay, I'll put that in the tower, so I don't know.
Yeah, tower would be good, please. So, Sylke, you estimate the distance that you'd need to cast your spell and the distance you'd need to travel if you needed to or wanted to long door from the walkway and from the wall. And you're fairly confident that it's within range and you know exactly where to land your spell. So
cool.
To speak.
That's perfect.
Okay,
no materializing inside of walls. That's good.
Yes, right. Bad, Sylke, bad. Okay.
She'd do it just to see how it felt, I think, but...
Okay, the crew, you can see, are preparing a breakfast of what looks like some crude flour that they've got. The flour is being brought out in a couple of metal scoops, perhaps stuff that they've rescued from their ship, the Scourge. And in the light now that you can see, sure enough, against one of the walls of one of these outbuildings, you can see what looks like a huge wheel belonging to a sailing ship. And there's a great big brass centerpiece which says the Scourge. Apparently, that's the name of the ship that they were all crew on, that was wrecked with a combination of bad seas, storm, and then a sea serpent. one of the famed Calabrian sea serpents of the Burning Sea.
Oh, that last game you had mentioned too at night that one of the guards had wanted to talk around the corner, so to speak, and I didn't pick up. Do you recall the name of that person? Was it Pesrel that Cran talked to?
Yes, it was Pesrel again who wanted to talk to you. Pesrel was
gotcha.
quite a talker.
Gotcha.
So you can join them for breakfast. They are happy-ish to share, though Aroth frowns at his men, who are beginning to warm to you, particularly you, Cherry, and you, Sylke. Shana, they're not sure what to make of you, to be honest. You look a bit intimidating, to say the least. Sylke looks absolutely not intimidating, and Cherry, as a young girl, doesn't look too threatening either. Unan probably is still not woken up yet. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So the rest of you can either join them. Aroth is happier if you can help contribute to their meal. So any rations or anything like that, because obviously his men are on restricted food. They can only eat what they really kill.
Presumably we still have reasonably good fresh travel rations.
Yes, you do. Yeah, absolutely. So you could share some of those if you want. I won't make any deductions from your rations. Aroth approaches you again, Cran, because he's taken you as the leader, and says, get some sleep?
Yeah, what's that smoke stuff? Yeah, what's that stuff you're burning? That really kept the bugs off. That was nice.
It's a plant we found. Apparently it's called Turu's Blessing. We were told to look out for it by one of the other crew. Apparently knows something of the jungles around here. Not that he's been on Arranmore, or, well, he was until Sea Serpent bit him in half. Turu's Blessing, apparently. You'll find it everywhere. Really good at keeping the insects away.
What do you do with it? Just burn it?
Yeah, just burn it.
All right, I appreciate that.
He reckoned you could smoke it yourself, but, well, he was always a bit weird, really.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, some of the things he used to do with his food, well, it was just disgusting. It would turn your stomach, it would. Raw fish. I mean, who ever heard of that? Raw fish.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. He'd mix it up with this rice stuff, and he'd eat it in balls. It was, oh, God.
Well, a long way to the northeast of here is Calestia, and we had our fair share of raw, anything during the winters, but...
No. Winter or summer, raw fish with rice. It was, well, horrible. So, to be honest, when he reckoned you could smoke this stuff in a pipe, no, thank you very much. We'll just shove it on the fire. So, your ship, then. We never did get to the bottom of that. And he points at his men. Look, there's 7 of us, and we want off this island. I'm sure we can reach an accommodation.
Well, we've got a job to do here for a few days, but I commit to you, my old son, that I will take your request to the captain. These ships are going to be floating pretty near here, out of some of the worst of the weather and the storms going around, and they will be coming back, and we will relay that then. I'm just a menial. I can't make any of these decisions.
No. I understand that. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be master of my own ship until it went down. No, I understand that. So, what are your plans now, matey? Where are you headed?
Well, between you and me, mate, I'm quite keen to. The crew here work pretty well. Is to branch out alone, maybe get our own ship and those kind of things in the future. Would you be interested in that if we ever do get off here?
He nods.
In captaining that on our behalf.
He nods and he says, "So you'll need something like a stake, won't you? You'll need some money, won't you? So you'll be after some loot."
Possibly. There's skills, money, information, a whole load of currency we're interested in. So, what do you have in mind?
Look, he says, what brought us to this place was stories that there was all sorts of. Well, we were hired by this guy called Baroque, and Baroque reckons that the old city there. He wouldn't tell us much about the place, but then, and Aroth shrugged. I don't know what got him to me. For the first time ever, I didn't really ask any details. Anyway, Barrock says, travel to the island, and we knew it was a tough place. Fair dues, we did know it was tough. And he says, get into the city. There's treasure waiting for you to just pick up.
And how did that work out? That never works out, does it?
No, you're right. And you can see Aroth looks suitably, not quite embarrassed, but a wry smile playing around the sides of his lips. He says, no, you're quite right. Should have known that it wouldn't be that easy. And we knew that we knew the reputation of the place. I mean, my folk have kept well away from this cursed place for generations, but we were desperate for money.
And who's this Barrack bloke? Is he still around?
No, he came through my town, must be about a year ago, said he was looking for a likely crew to sail across to the Cursed Isle. There'd be a hoard of gold in it. All he needed was a crew that were brave enough to face the sea.
But what was he looking for particularly? Not just the gold.
He didn't say, to be honest. He said he wanted a crew to go across. I reckon what he wanted was to find a crew that were brave enough and who'd come back with some money, and then he'd basically have a go himself. Well, we got here, but this is where our story's almost ended.
So anything you'd recommend? I mean, obviously, we'd like to come out of here alive, and we've got a job to do on behalf of our masters. But
Aroth frowns at you and he says, look, if I tell you what I know you can't guarantee me a place on your ship. I'm just asking, as one sailor to another, you just treat my respect with some honour. And the lads there, they're a good enough crew. Yeah, they're rough, but they're a good enough crew, and they'll stand if you ask them.
Look, you've got my word as a soldier, and you seem like an honest bloke. I look slightly up at him as I say that. I will present the best possible case to you, my bosses, when we get back to the ship. But leave it with me.
He looks at you and says, square deal?
Yeah, and I hold my hand out and grab him by the wrist.
All right, he takes your wrist. And this time there's none of that manly squeezing each other's wrists until one of you squeals and says, oh, I give up, it hurts.
I was going to stroke his palms just gently with my finger. I won't do that.
No, he's not a Freemason and he's not that way inclined. He smokes leaves for a start. Okay, he says, look, there's an old ruined tower. We made the mistake of going straight to the city. And even though we found a password to get us past that bloody gate, it still almost killed some of us before we managed to get the password out. What we didn't do, and what we probably should have done first, is there's a temple complex, not part of the city. Don't know whether it's older than the city, don't know whether it's built after the city's destruction. Anyway, there's a temple complex about 2 miles from here through the jungle, that direction. Head that way, pick up the small creek, go past the cursed fields, and you can't miss it. I would suggest you try that first. That might give you the money you want without venturing into that bloody city.
I appreciate that. And the tower, is it in the city? You mentioned that you headed for. And what was this password and gate? Is that a gate to get into the tower?
There's a wall. No, there's a great big demonic wall. It goes all the way around the city. I hadn't done much research about this place. All I could find out from some of the crew and some of the local rumours is there used to be these people called the Nureti. Anyway, the Nureti, they were a dark folk, really. They were a bit of a blight. We're probably better off without them, to be honest. Anyway, the Nureti worship these dark gods. One in particular, so I hear. Anyway, ruled by this evil bitch of a queen. He shrugs, aren't they all? Anyway, they were crushed, I don't know, generations ago, thousands of years ago. I can't remember when. I mean, there's no stories in my folk about them anyway. City was crushed, island was smashed to pieces, and the whole place shunned. Anyway, that's all we knew about it. So we head across to their city, and there's this bloody great big demonic wall around the whole place with one great big gate. we'd found the password. One of the crew had found the password, though he never told us where he'd found it.
And what is it? Is it in our language?
Yeah. The password is Tara Glustrod.
Tara Glustrod. Okay.
Tara Glustrod.
I said it, kinda.
Now that'll get you past the gate, but that won't help protect you against all the other things that live in that city. I mean, you're going to have to be. And he looks at you and he says, "Look, no disrespect, and he points at Cherry. Will she stand? She looks no more than a kid. And what you'll see in there will turn your stomach."
Well, appreciate the warning, and also the recommendation to check out that temple first.
Go to that temple first. If there's money in that, it'll be a damn easier than getting any money out of that city. That city will do you.
Okay. Anything in there in that temple that is that you've seen, or is it?
We didn't go to it. That was our mistake.
Gotcha.
That was our mistake.
Is that the Temple of the Forgotten Knight in the forest? Says Ugnan from the doorway.
Don't know what it's called. No idea.
Is it in the forest?
Yeah, that's right. Head through here. You'll go past some fields, open area. You don't want to spend too long there. There's all sorts of things underneath the soil. You want to be careful there. And you'll see it. It's ruined, of course, but you'll see it. We should have checked that out first. Might have been a damn sight easier than venturing into the city. Because we've watched that temple a number of times, and apart from the odd Gark crawling about it, no demons there, no ghosts there. Haven't been into it, of course, but it's a damn sight safer than that bloody city.
Hearing you. All right. Well, we're going to head out today. We'll leave you some rations.
Thank you, matey.
Anything to supplement what you've got, and we should be back in 2-3 days, I hope. Maybe a little longer.
And if your ship turns up, what do we say?
We'll be back in 2 or 3 days. They know where we're going.
All right. Where are they to meet you? Here?
We'll signal them. That's what the plan was when we get back.
You'll signal them.
Yeah.
All right. From here. Okay. We'll tell them. Give me a perception roll, please, Kran and Ugnan.
Yeah. Skeptical.
Kran. Okay. Both. Okay. It's clear that Aroth was helping you, but he's clearly very interested in knowing as much about your ship as he can. I.e., where is it now? Where is it going to be? And how are you going to signal it?
Yeah, that's what.
Perhaps not surprisingly, given his men have been stranded on this place for a month or more.
So as I come back to our hut to round up the rest of the guys with Ugnan, I'll kind of whisper to him a bit that we need to be cautious, but promise him I'll put in a word to the captain. Clearly, we need to just make a decision on this, but if he pans out, could do worse than a guy like that crewing our ship. Not sure what he'd want and how trustworthy it'd be or how we could tie him to us, but Fred Schwartz says always trust big blokes.
If we can take them off the island, then I think that's the thing to do. It's not be unfair to leave them.
Yeah, exactly. If we can do that.
Just to make clear, for the sake of those people that are listening to the podcast, Garks and half-breeds. Garks are like orcs.
I've shared that in chat. Thanks, buddy.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so Garks are the Shadow World's kind of equivalent of orcs and goblins. And the sneaky little bugger that stole the pirate's boat was a half-human, half-Gark sort of thing.
Okay.
Hence, they just referred to him as half-breed. So, for the sake of the gentler ears that might be listening to any sort of stream, they're not racists. They're a bit peculiar. But that's what you get when you leave a bunch of sailors stuck on an island with no women.
All right,
lots
crew.
of strange things you can smoke.
Are we ready to head out? We've got some fairly clear plans based on a conversation with the old captain over there. He recommended we go to a temple first.
Yeah.
It's going to be brutal inside the city by the sound of things. There's a massive wall around it. We've been given a password that they know went in there, but they lost most of their crew in there. And he warned us, actually, we need to even be on our toes even before we get to the temple. There's some sort of horrific field we need to cross with some sort of weird stuff that may be living under the ground. So keep your eyes peeled when we go over there.
It kind of gives you guys a nod back into the hovel, and
I'll keep
when
an
you
eye.
guys are in there,
No, I was going to say I'll keep a close eye on Sylke because I'm a bit worried about her. The closer we get to the demons and talk about demons, the more worrying she gets. More worried she gets me.
that's right. Well, she asks you guys and says, with all the different dangers and stuff on this island, one of them took a little bit of a shine to me the other night. Should I kind of not give up the goods, but offer the honeypot, as it were, of a kiss to loosen his lips a little more, or share any secrets he knows?
Well,
I'm not beneath. It's not beneath me to do so, I say.
Numal looks incredibly shocked.
I look over at Cherry and wink
he
at
turns
her.
bright red. He turns bright red.
Jerry's just
Yeah.
laughing.
Cran looks incredibly uncomfortable and shuffles his feet and looks optimistically at Ogden to make a decision. And then
It's just a kiss. That's all I'd offer.
Ogden
I think that
Ogden
would be
just
something
shrugs.
they jump at.
He just shrugs. Well, whatever can get us the information. I mean, did you go up the ladder when you were inside that place?
Oh, I was too afraid to leave without, just in case there's traps or anything, and Cherry wasn't to help. But it's something I figure we can approach, invisibly, again, quietly inside this place. Approach invisibly from the outside, and then I think I've gauged the range where I can teleport us inside of.
Yeah, you're fairly confident that you can.
Well, I guess the only thing we really need to make a decision is: do we think there's anything that might be helpful in there before we head out to this temple?
Well, that's true too. So I figured I'd just ask people, but I mean, I can definitely send Cherry in there and myself, and then get us both.
I mean, I don't like the fact that they haven't told us that they could go inside. I mean, was there enough room for everybody to fit inside, do you think so?
Oh, definitely.
So why didn't they just get us all to come inside last night, for example? Why have they kept them to themselves? That's what worries me.
Well, that's it. It seemed to have like a trunk full of gear from that ship that Aerith spoke about, Scourge, the Scourge. And so I don't know if it's just keepsakes. I didn't really look for, like Cherry would give it a once over for value, but.
Why don't you up in there? I mean, we'll basically prevaricate a bit in here and spend a lot of time preparing. Can you hop across? And Cran shakes his head at the thought of it. From this room straight in there and have a look around, so they wouldn't even know, and then head back when you found something useful.
Yeah, I think so. I'll just go for another walk around just to make sure I get it right. But yeah, shouldn't take me more than 10 minutes to come back after a walk.
Okay.
All right, sounds a good idea.
So you can ready your belongings for back towards the temple ruins that the pirates sailors have told you about, which you believe might be the temple of the Forgotten Knight. Meanwhile, you want to have a walk around the outside. Sylke, yes?
Yeah, just to gauge from, say, the top right corner by the wall, almost right here on the outside, and then kind of gauge from, say, the inside of this room, and then from there to teleport to, say, that area with the front door.
Okay, give me another reasoning roll. Easy difficulty, because you've already done some mental mathematics to do a similar calculation from the outside. So all you've got to do is just do a little bit of subtraction.
Cool.
Not that long dooring like this is at all easy, because you're
true enough.
Doing something through a hyperdimensional space.
That's it.
You're fairly confident that actually from inside that building you could long door safely into that building again. As long as nobody moves any of the furniture around, you're fairly confident you can do it.
Okay. So I'll kind of touch Cherry on the shoulder and bring her into the room there after I'm back. I'll meander a little bit outside for a while, and then finally I'll go inside. I won't just do it.
Okay.
But once I'm here, I'll move over here and I'll say to Cherry, so are you ready for this? It's quite the experience.
I guess so. Here we go.
So just to let you know, just to be forewarned,
I've made a will, and
Yeah.
you should too.
That's right. You might want to leave your belongings here, except for what you need.
What do you mean?
That's
Well,
right.
just in case, the spell fails somehow. I can cast it, no problem, but just in case the spell fails somehow, it's just to make sure that you're safe.
Okay,
Your belongings are safe, I should say.
All right. So if the spell fails, I'll fucking go as.
Okay, so this is the thing. It's going to take me quite a while to cast this because it's a little bit beyond my ability, but I've done it twice myself. So now that you're forewarned, you still want to do it?
Uglin's hear this.
I put Lysa down, like the water skin with Lysa in it, put that down and say, probably best that I don't bring you along just in case it goes awry. But
yeah, that's what I mean.
All right.
I promise
I hand her off to Shana and say, look after. So.
Yeah, Uglin, as soon as he hears Kran says that, goes, whoa, hang on. Is this beyond you, Mistress Elf?
Just a little bit, but I was fine. I was fine when I did it last night.
Okay, so you're going to overcast the spell to get yourself and Cherry, who's now looking a little bit dubious about this.
Yeah.
Into the pyramid.
Yeah, I'm not forcing you. If you say no, that's fine. I'll go myself.
I'm ready. Let's
okay.
Do
it.
Okay. So when you go, I want you to basically find the chest and take 1 or 2 steps away from the chest because I'm going to arrive there shortly after.
Okay.
All right, this is going to be fascinating. All right, so you cast the spell.
Yeah, so I need to roll 28 or more because 1 to 2 normally. Are you ready?
And on the plus side, if you get the spell wrong, the Cherry's chest could increase by quite a lot. Well, she would be a chest, actually.
That's it.
Okay, come on then. Right, cast your spell then, Sylke.
Okay, so it's just the 1 to 100, and that's what it'll be. So here we go. No problem.
And you did that for the first time. And, oh no, of course, flamboyant gestures as well.
Well, that's it. It's just the main die 100. So as long as it's over 20.
Okay.
Oh, and that was the learn.
You're right. I won't bother putting any tokens on this. Cherry, when you arrive, you can see, just to remind you, you're inside what looks like a probably about 25-foot square or so chamber. There is a small cot, and to your dismay, there are 2 chests.
There are 2 chests.
Yes. Which chest do you want to move away from?
I'll go and stand next to the cot just to be sure.
And do you want to cast your spell again, please, Sylke, to make sure you arrive nice and safely?
That's it. So once Cherry is gone, I'll step into her spot just so that I have exact calculation.
Yep. And
then 9 rounds or however many rounds later that it takes, I'll do the same thing. So here we go. No, it's fine, Ugnin. It's okay. She didn't not go because if it failed, she would be still here but stunned. That's all. Honest, I it's fine. But just everybody move to the other side of the room right now.
And it helps if you shout incoming.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, go on then. Give us this roll then, Sylke.
Okay, here we go. And I won't do the...
Actually, before Sylke does that,
yeah.
I want to jump in. Is this something that Cherry's experienced in any way, shape, or form before?
No.
Yeah, the ride there is kind of cool.
Through the thing, yeah, because I was thinking maybe she should make a constitution check to see if it makes her throw up or something.
I suppose so, yes. Actually, that was so essentially the way I always pictured this is...
Oh, no. Hold it in.
So that's going to be interesting.
Just in front of the chest there is a puddle of
vomit
from Cherry.
Oh, you bastard.
She'll probably fall over.
Damn it. Okay, here we go.
So the way it probably works is that as the spell is cast, you're drawn out to an impossibly thin distance, sort of sent down what looks like a multicoloured hole that's spiralling around you. and you get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and stretched and stretched and stretched until finally you kind of snap together again at the far end of that long door.
Well said.
So you've left a pile of something for Sylke to arrive in. Sylke, cast your spell.
Oh, jerk face.
And then we're going to want an agility roll for you to stay on your feet. So you land in your open-toed sandal. Pile of
Oh, why didn't I wear my boots? Damn it.
the chunks that get between your toes, in your toenails, and you managed to stay on your feet, I think. Okay, so the chamber itself actually has, as you can see there's an obvious door out, there's a workbench, there's a small cot, but there are also two chests. One reads Scourge, you think, in a language which isn't particularly obvious to you, but you were told it reads the Scourge because it matches the same lettering on the brass plaque on the wheel of the forlorn ship that was smashed. The chest itself is one that you've not opened. There is another smaller chest which has been opened. Sylke can tell you that, Cherry. And inside, all she found was some dried meats, some wild mushrooms, some onions, some foods, and so on, and also some tools. But the chest that reads the Scourge has not been opened and is indeed locked.
I'll do a perception check to see if I can see any traps on it.
Absolutely. It's not trapped at all. But boy, that acid indigestion is beginning to play havoc with your concentration.
Awesome.
So the chest, as far as you can tell, isn't trapped at all. It just needs a deft hand to pick the lock. It's going to be a hard lock to pick.
Hard lock. I look at Sylke and say, we're going to have to clean this up before we go.
Yep.
Someone's going to have to clean it up, but not me.
Okay, so it's a hard lock to pick.
Hard lock to pick, yep. Okay.
Sorry.
It's warped slightly in the damp air, so it's going to catch. And because of the way the wood is warped, it's going to be difficult.
As in very hard or?
Hard, sorry.
Oh, nice roll. Even better than the previous.
Easy. So lifting up the chest, you can see that inside there's a beautifully crafted bronze ship's sextant. It also looks like the...
sorry, that was the wrong one. Pick pockets.
Oh, you picked the pocket. Let's do a...
Let me try with pick locks this time.
We're
What's
such cheaters.
Is it better than pickpocket skill? Because otherwise,
yeah.
Oh
no!
Okay, so
I'm sort of glad that I
you sense that there's probably a very important ship's cabinet inside. Ship's sextant inside, but you can't manage to open the lock. Try again. You manage to open up, and sure enough, inside, as you suspected, there is a particularly fine bronze ship's sextant, which will be a boon to any navigator. Also present are the journals of the ship's captain. So these would be his logbooks, his maps, his bearings, and so on. If you were a navigator, these would be priceless.
Well, I turn to Sylke and say, if we take the sext, but can hide it while we're off gallivanting around, that way we can assure that old captain here isn't going to take over the ship.
Yeah, that sounds good then. What do you think of this? I point to the ladder.
I said, you might want to skim through this captain blog to see how crazy. If you want, I'll go check up the ladder.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to take my time and slowly climb the ladder and stalk it up, if I may.
Okay. The ladder itself is obviously stoutly bolted and fixed to the wall. So you make virtually no noise at all as you climb up that ladder, Cherry.
Right.
Sylke waits below you, waiting for you to find out what you can. It ends in a trapdoor. Pushing gently on the trapdoor moves also without making a sound. Whatever crafted this tower and put in the ladder and the trapdoor and so on, did so with real craftsmanship. After all of these years, and this structure must be thousands of years old, none of the internal structures have warped or deformed at all, despite the damp and the heat around and outside you. Above, you can see there's a room similar to the one below, but this room contains 3 double bunks. There's a rather unusual lamp that's glowing on the northern wall. The lamp seems to hold, it's an ordinary glass lamp, shuttered lantern, but it holds what looks like a glowing purple crystal.
That's just a glowing crystal.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if it's just a light crystal. It just projects light. We could possibly use that when we're
That
in the
might be
dark.
handy. Yeah.
But also, the question
It's
is,
just more obvious
things
we were here.
glow for no apparent reason usually do more than just glow. Like, I've never
Right.
seen a crystal glow like that before. Like, and we've had the light spell cast on my lamp before, so I know what a normal spell. But what I'm going to do, and I'll say, you have a look at this crystal here, Sylke, and
You turn back and she's already touching it.
Girl. Yes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my future visions.
Yeah. Sylke, you're looking at the crystal. Can you give me a perception roll, please?
Okay. Oh, thanks. Awesome, Craig. Thank you. Yeah, I was worried for a sec because I was like, man, they really changed. Perception, GM?
Yeah, please. So the crystal itself is probably about the size of your thumb, and you
Okay.
can see coiling around, flickering, in the very heart of this purple gem is a purple something. You don't sense that the gem is, how do I say it, living.
Okay.
But it is sentient. There is a presence, a very faint presence in the gemstone.
Oh, you're a jerk. Have you read my background?
Yes.
It goes into her pocket.
Okay, so you can reach out and reach into the lantern, take the gemstone and put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
While that's happening.
Yeah, you want to cast your spell, off you go.
Yep, so I'm going to...
as she reaches for it, you cast your spell.
Yep.
I think that was what would probably happen. Off you go, so do you need to make a casting roll?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Casting. Oh, that's the chance roll it gives me.
That's right, yep, okay. So remind me, you get to look forward, 10 seconds?
No, 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
This one? Yeah.
Okay. And you'll want to know what will happen if you take the gemstone?
Exactly.
You don't get the feeling that anything unpleasant will happen at all. You'll just take the gemstone. The only problem is going to be that the pocket that Sylke has put the gemstone in her robes is got a faint glow to it. So you're going to have to hide it, conceal it. Gemstone glows quite brightly. It's small, but it's got a glow that's big enough to fill the room.
She seems oblivious to that.
I point this out to Sylke and say, time to use your prison pocket, dear.
Oh, really?
It's glowing. They're going to see it straight away.
I'll open up my water flask. Can I fit the gem inside the water flask?
You can. Before you do that, how long does your spell last for? Is it just
Which-
that I've cast it and I can see forward 10 minutes, or does it? Yeah, it must be. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
That's
God.
just, yeah, I've cast it and I can see it for
Right.
5 minutes on a particular action. What?
Okay, you can put the gemstone into your water flask if you want. Yes, it will fit.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. It's a shame that you've done that because the gemstone explodes.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's awesome.
So you put the gemstone into your water flask. Fortunately, so what's your water flask made of?
Just like leather, I'm sure.
Okay, that's good. So it's not glass or anything that will shatter. So there's a tremendous crack. Your water flask shakes. Water leaps out of the flask, soaking your clothing in your face, and then the glow has gone.
Aw. You see the biggest pout on Sylke ever. Like, she just killed God. We're not doing too well, Terry. You've puked. I've now splashed us with water, and we've left it all over the place. I don't know what's going on, but we're not doing too well.
All you need to do is sleep in one of the beds, and then it'll be like, somebody's picked on the floor.
That's right. And they're still here.
Exactly. So I'm gonna cast from Fire Law, boil liquid, and I'll make the liquid all around us evaporate as quick as it lands.
That's set
Ooh.
right for the bedding. You
It's
come
only
back,
100
so I will
Celsius.
see you coming back singed and soaked.
Yeah,
And going to go, what the fucking hell did you do?
exactly.
It all went wrong.
Okay, I was waiting for 02 there, just so
That
that
would
it
be
explodes
hilarious.
or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so you can dry out all of the water everywhere, although, of course, the sailors have now lost their precious mirror.
Yeah.
What do you want to
Okay.
do now? The room is now much, much darker because there's obviously no light in here. So for you to do much more, you're going to now need a light source.
I'm sorry. And I'll cast Light Law Projected Light level.
Okay.
I
That's
promise I'll make sure I have enough PowerPoints if there's a spell failure here, so I can't cast any more after this.
Okay.
So Projected Light is like a torch flashlight.
I just say, I look at you and shake my head and just say, I'm glad you didn't put it where I told you to.
I am too. That would have hurt.
Oof.
Prison water.
I'm cringing at the thought of it.
Exactly.
So I go, okay, well, hey, that evaporate, whatever you did there, can you do it on the mess we made downstairs? So
Yes, to be
it's
honest,
easier
I
to
think
clean up. It'll be just dust and dry bits of food,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I can. I just right now I'm down to us leaving and then a failure of us leaving. So I won't do it unless I know for sure I've sent you back. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay. So let's keep going. Is there? It's just this other second floor room or something?
yeah. So the room itself, you can see there are 3 beds. Yeah, so there's 3 beds. There's the lamp which you've broken, and there's another ladder which climbs up to a floor above you. So there is obviously a 3rd floor above you. The ladder is up against the north wall.
Okay, so let's have a quick look under the beds. Is there anything hidden under the beds?
You can give me a perception roll, please. You've got a decent enough light source. Yes, you can see what looks like. Cherry can see a chest. Sylke can't see anything at all and is ready to climb up.
I'm looking at my palm, shining a light in my eye.
That's right, Gun. I can't see anything. It's the light. It's light. Cherry, however, you can see what looks like a small chest.
Okay, so
Quite small, something that would be used for probably valuables storage.
look, I'm not particularly worried about robbing these guys of anything. So I point it out and I say, we'll check that on the way back. Let's go upstairs.
Moving stealthily, I assume. Do you want to give me a stealth roll?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just in case someone's above us.
I think if anyone's inside here, the sound of puking and the explosion of a normal
That's
water
true.
blast would have already alerted them, but
Yeah.
This trapdoor again opens quite quietly. The place has been extremely well crafted. And you can see one last chamber. There's no more ladders going up. The most obvious thing in here is the fact that two of the walls seem to be lined with bookshelves. Against the northern wall, however, there's also a glass idol. The idol itself is about 2 foot high, so hefty, but certainly one that you could carry if you wanted. The idol itself is curiously fashioned and is leaning against the wall. It's not sitting or standing normally, so there's something slightly odd about the design of it.
Of the idol?
The idol itself looks like it's been fashioned in the shape of a mermaid, though the mermaid has 4 rather large breasts. And it leans against the wall, which has been lined with bookshelves.
Ooh, bookshelf.
Now, the books themselves are old, and many of them look as if they've faded and worn over time. There's a scroll that's been unfurled on the floor.
Okay, so I'll...
And weighted, so keep it open. Sorry.
Yep. So I'll let Sylke look the scroll over.
Mm-hmm.
Reading.
The scroll is written in a language that you don't recognize.
Okay, I'm going to cast second level Delving Ways. Caster can read text written in an unknown language, but only understand basic concepts.
Okay, the language, I don't know if you know what the language is, but you pass that and you can decipher the language. You want to make a spell casting roll, just not to fail it.
You got it. Second level.
And collapse in a heap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the language is obviously unknown to you. Certainly the tongue, you don't know who wrote this, but obviously it's very old. The scroll itself seems to be some sort of basic guide to summoning gods and summoning demons.
Oh, wow.
Essentially, it won't allow you to summon anything, but it tells you the steps that you should take and what spells you should be looking to use. How long does your spell last, Sylke?
A minute per level.
Okay. So as you scan some of the other books, text that was unfamiliar to you is now familiar. Clearly, these were all written in the same strange language.
Okay. Anything just as interesting as the Summoning Gods book, or?
Well, what sort of books are you looking for?
Oh, man. I guess it would just have to do with the history of the island or any magic item.
All right. Can you give me a perception roll as you scan the books very quickly?
Okay. Perception. Scrolling up.
So there's a couple of books that immediately leap out at you. One is about the Nureti people themselves. It's a history of the Nureti. You can take that book and leaf through it over time. Another one is titled Vramaver, the Light Queen. If you remember, there was reference to the Dark Queen, aren't they all?
Right. Oh, darn it, man. I keep saying to Cherry we shouldn't take everything, but it seems like we're going to. Yeah, How to Surf Man. Nice. Okay, I'll grab those books and I'll kind of try to cinch all the other books together so it doesn't look like anything's been removed.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah. And then I'll look at Cherry and say, okay, I've got some books that we can read over time while we're here, but let's not take anything else because I feel like we're just shopping now. What do you think?
Yeah.
See anything else we need here?
I want to have a look at this idol.
Yeah.
You said there was something odd about it besides it
Yeah,
having
it's
four
the design and give me a perception roll, please, Cherry.
Sure.
So the idol itself said the mermaid type creature. The arms of the creature, 2 arms, are stretched above its head and look as if they'd be holding something above its head. wrapped around, almost as if the idol is designed to be fastened to some sort of pole. The tail fin as well is kind of slightly curled at the end, as if the tail fins would be curled around some pole down the back of this brass statue, which is about 2 to 3 feet tall. Obviously nautical in design. It's also slightly tarnished and pitted with time. So in that way, it's actually a little bit out of place, because the rest of the things that you've seen in this place, the trapdoor, the ladder, and so on, are almost unmarked. So this is probably something that belongs to the ship's crew rather than people that built this strange thing.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, mate, that sounds like they saved a face.
Keepsake?
No. What sits on the bow of a ship.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Usually it's a mermaid of some sort.
Yep.
This one might be a magical mermaid.
As you think through that, Cherry, yes, this looks almost exactly like the figurehead of a ship.
That's a one figurehead's a word. Thank you for my lack of English.
Whole dancing mermaid says chat. Cool. Okay. Anything else here that you need, or you want to do a search in here for weird stuff?
Okay, so now that I know that she's that and not connected to the room itself, I was wondering if there was a connection to some sort of secret panel or latch. So the secrets to this room lie in the bookcase, realistically. While you're looking at that, I'm going to roll a self-discipline check.
Your turn, yeah.
Yeah.
And just rob the place blind.
That's exactly it. Oh, thank God.
So, yeah, I decide, no, I'm going to go down and try and... so I want to go down to the bottom floor again where I puked. And is the floor itself dirt, or is it obsidian like the rest of the...
It's obsidian, so you could clean
So it's actually really quite easily cleanable. It's like mopping
yes.
up a pool on marble.
Yeah.
So if it's that sort of it, yeah, I'll just start cleaning the mess up and say, when you finish looking at the books, bring some down if you want me to carry them, and then we'll go.
Okay.
I can't see any reason to look into anything else. I'm tempted to take the sextant, but I don't want to. I feel that our good relations with these guys, even though we know they're dodgy as fuck.
Yeah. Just for them
rely on us at least playing the dupes. And then we'll be ready for, because, I trust these guys not a fucking sausage, so.
And I'm sure they do, given that you've broken into their house and smashed their lamp and thrown up on their floor.
Yeah, well, bits. Exactly. The only evidence that I want left behind is that the light from the lamps disappeared for some reason, and as long as we weren't there. Too bad it's not 100 meters, or else you could put us outside the fence.
No, it is 100. It is 100. Craig, look.
100 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So I feel better now because it's a typo in.
Because I'm thinking, can you teleport us outside the fence line so we can so that way we have an excuse for disappearing for as long as we have. You got to remember, time's gone by, and we're the popular ones.
Yeah, that's true.
Shana's there and looking gorgeous as well, but I'm sure as shit they're intimidated as fuck by her compared to you and I. So
yeah,
let's pretend we've been out doing lady things in the woods.
Okay.
And that'll probably impress them enough, since they're shit scared to leave this place. So.
Yeah, I failed my self-discipline roll, so before I get downstairs with you, I'm going to search the room for anything else that might be pretty.
Okay, there's nothing obviously pretty, but you could maybe steal another book.
Yeah,
I thought
that'll
you'd say
happen.
that. Okay, you take another book. You don't really look at it. You just take a book and just put it away because
Yeah.
that's what you do. And when you've got time, you can find out that it's, I don't know, could be a book about anything.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
book for the weekends, or something like that.
Oh, that's cool. So yeah, if nothing else valuable in this room, then I'll head downstairs and I'll prepare Cherry for the trip.
Okay. So cast your spell, please, and you want to teleport outside the stockade.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
that's
thinking
it.
just to our west there. So a straight line.
Well, that's it. Where we're standing to go west, we just get right outside the walls. So we'd have to go to the corner as possible and teleport. But I don't know, I tell you, I don't know what things look like out there. Like, I don't know. I didn't walk the wall on that. And
Oh,
if I cast it and it fails, you don't travel and you're stuck. So I'd like to, but I
well,
think we should just
what, back to the hut
back
that we came
back
from?
to the hut. Yeah. At least it's safe.
Yeah, okay. I guess, like, as long as the guys haven't left the hut and sort of, like, kept the door closed to people, and I just
Yeah.
hope I don't puke when I get back in there.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll transport you, and it'll basically be into the corner here again.
Okay.
Just be sure to move out from there, because that's what I've got memorized as the
Okay,
spot.
before I go, I want to actually lock the
Chest?
chest that I unlocked. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, give me
that'll
a lockpick roll, please. Yep, good enough. So you're able to lock the chest closed again, and then
Yep.
Sylke attempts to send you back.
Okay, here's where it gets interesting. Are you ready for 20
Go for it.
plus, you said?
20 plus.
Okay, so 22 plus. Here we go. Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Zorp.
Cherry,
What?
you're back.
So I've got 14 power points because I had to spend it on the water boiling. So I can only do this once, and if I fail,
You're stuck.
I'm walking out of here somehow. Yeah. Okay. So I walk into her position where she was. I gesticulate wildly, and I say a silent prayer to all the gods, Nureti and otherwise.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, thank you. Oh man.
So I'm going to make another Constitution check. I'm going to put self-impose a -5 on it because I failed last time. Fine.
Beauty.
Nothing left.
Not even a twinge in the tummy that time.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Cherry. I'm sorry it took so long and what happened.
Oh,
So hang on. I brush her hair, like shake it and tussle it, and then I tussle mine.
Oh, what have we been doing?
And then, well, when we walk out, they'll know that we're not their kind of person. we solved two things. Why we were
no, I think you're exactly their kind of person.
That's right.
Yeah, I was going to say,
every schoolboy's dream.
They'd pay for that.
Okay,
yeah.
So you two finally emerge. You've probably been gone about an hour or so.
Yep.
I'll hold her hand as we walk out.
So the piece of cloth that I used to clean up the puke.
Yep.
And I worked hard to make sure that there was next to nothing, only really searchable
chunks.
Chunks. No, the chunks are chunks.
Oh God, where do the carrots come from? Why are there always carrots?
That's what I saw her hunched over eating the chunks back because she couldn't.
That's it. I couldn't wrap them in the cloth, so I ate them. Oh my God, that's wrong.
Okay.
So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to throw it in the whole rag. Just throw it in the fires. Sorry about that.
Nobody will really question that, to be honest. The sailors have been watching Cran and Shana go through their early morning calisthenics. Some of them in particular, Cran, you can see were probably thinking about joining in. Obviously, they're quite eager to test their mettle, but also they're quite eager to prove that they're as good as you guys in their own way. However, Aroth growls at them whenever they look like they're going to join in.
So Cran ends up on his ass very quickly after trying to use his bulk to throw Shana, and she's clearly far better at any sort of martial arts type stuff than Cran. He uses brute force normally, and he just lies there in the sand looking up at her and holds his hand up.
Okay.
No more. I'm mouth full of bloody sand now.
And my back hurts just like Ugnan's.
Oh.
Okay, so where now, folks? Do you want to head to the city, or do you want to head to the temple ruins that you suspect might be this Temple of the Forgotten Knight? If you remember, you were urged to go there first by the seer, who told you that this Temple of the Forgotten Knight, if that is the temple ruins that you suspect, will hold weapons and things that will help you defeat the demons inside the city.
Yeah, we should definitely head there first.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyone smell vomit? It's like a weird smell in there.
Why are there carrots on your front?
I'm wearing
Why are
leather,
there smudge marks
so
on?
it just wiped off as well.
So
I was going to say, Sylke has a hard time with her own spells. That's all I can.
So as we get ready, putting our stuff together, hopefully, Cherry and Sylke fill us in.
Yeah. Okay, so they can tell you that they've searched the place out, and they probably look at you, Ugnan, and you probably wince. They go, "Guess what, Ugnan? We found some more books."
Oh, goody.
Right.
But I can read these ones, even though I don't know the language. The last spell list that I learned, it's great for this stuff.
That last spell list was from those demon summoning, evil channeling books.
No. It's Delving Ways, it's called. It helps me read and learn about past histories of items, that kind of stuff.
Oh, good, because I'm a bit worried about finding books inside of a black, shiny obelisk.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah. Particularly those that don't say public library.
But yeah,
I grab Lisa back, talk to her, and just sit down and talk to her for a little bit, like it's a child or something like that, like it's my child. Or she's a bit motherly towards Lisa.
Okay.
Right.
That's all I wanted to add. Don't have to role play the chat. It's just like, how you doing? Everything okay?
Well, she's certainly, because of the heat in this place, she's beginning to struggle, dehydrating.
Okay.
So you're going to have to release her into some water at some point.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was going to release her into the river to go up river and see if there's anything along that trail when we head towards the city, but it looks like we're going to the temple first. So, yeah. So that I just say to the guys, look, we've got to drop Lisa off at some water soon, and then we're good to go. As far as
I've got to replace my water skin that burst.
What did you do with the pieces of the gem?
I basically kept them.
You probably should have sprinkled those underneath it, so it looked like it had burst in its own accord.
All by itself. I'm sure there's still pieces and shards stuck in the wall.
Oh, Obsidian may not be. Yeah. I can't see any reason to stick around in the corral for much longer.
No, aren't we expecting the skyship to come for us anyway in the morning?
Oh yeah, first thing this morning. Okay, well let's wait for that, and then.
Well, I think we shouldn't. I think we should just be ready to go and then just leave in one fluid motions, just in case there's any issue with them trying to follow us.
Okay.
Okay, so you can head north, which is both the direction that your ship is due to be returning from, and it also happens to be the direction that's going to lead to this temple, whatever this temple complex is. It's probably now about, I don't know, the equivalent of 10 o'clock in the morning by the time the girls have finally sorted their stuff out. and looted the tower as best they can.